On his long and epic voyage back home, Odysseus goes through many of the trials and tribulations that make his story the classic tale of the hero's journey. And one of the particular challenges that he must face is the Song of the Sirens. And because Odysseus wants to hear the song for himself, what he does is has his men tie him to the mast of the ship and get them all to plug their ears so that they can navigate the ship without him steering them into a shipwreck and crashing amongst the rocks. And this has become known as either a Ulysses pact or a commitment device that we can use ourselves in terms of tying our arms to the mast so that we can't take action on something, particularly a bad habit. And because I like the story of Odysseus so much, I prefer to call it an Odysseus pact. So that's what we're talking about today. What's up, everybody? It's RJ here, and welcome back to the Find Your Flow channel. This is where we go after your dream goals and spend more time in that peak state of flow. And as I mentioned, we're talking about Odysseus pacts today. These are different styles of commitment devices that we can use to either help ourselves on the journey to better habits, or also as a way to avoid those bad habits that we want to try to get rid of and eliminate from our lives. Odysseus pacts or commitment devices work really well for this reason, because one of the key laws to better habit formation is to make things easy, and the inverse to that law, if you're trying to apply it towards bad habits, is to make things harder. And practicing good habits is one of the keys to peak performance and following the journey to your dream goals. So it's really important that we set everything up right on our journey so that we can make those good habits as easy as possible, and also help ourselves in avoiding any of those bad habits that are going to create obstacles in our way. When it comes to breaking free from the distractions that are holding you back, it really makes it efficient if we can reduce the ease of access. A lot of the issues that we face in performing our best and accomplishing big things in the modern world come because everything is so immediately accessible, and that ease of access just makes it that much more difficult when we have to do the hard things that are required to either get into our flow or to accomplish our dream goals. So one of the main things you should be asking yourself when creating these Odysseus pacts is how you can reduce those temptations so that you can stay on your path. And when it comes to breaking free from those distractions that are holding you back, it really helps to reduce the temptations through the ease of access. A common example of this is having junk food in the house, and that ease of access just makes it that much more tempting. If you've got junk food in the house, it's going to tempt you every time you pass it by. The commitment device that we can use for ourselves in these situations is to either eliminate it altogether. There are also locks that you can get for your kitchen cabinets or cookie jars that will lock you out and help to reduce the temptation if you're not quite ready to completely eliminate those from your house. And when it comes to many of the siren songs in our lives, having a friend or an accountability partner help to hold us to those Odysseus pacts is another effective strategy. And I talked more about accountability partners in this video here. As an example, you can give your friend or your accountability partner an envelope of cash to hold on to as far as a way to stick to, for example, a fitness goal that you may have, and you want to get to the gym a certain number of times a week. And the only way that you get that envelope of cash back is if you do stick to that habit and don't miss any days. And so of course that friend is going to be checking in to make sure that you are holding to that pact that you've created. Typically this is done with that money going to an anti-charity, which is a cause that you do not want to support or be known supporting if you do not stick to whatever your goal may be. So it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be around fitness. Maybe your goal is around creativity and you want to write 1,000 words per day, and you've just got to stick to it, and that loss aversion is really powerful for holding you accountable. And having an accountability partner can also help you with your Odysseus pact in a number of different ways. Fitness expert and writer Nate Green used to have his girlfriend lock him out of all of the apps in his phone throughout the week, and he'd only get the password on the weekend or get access to the app store to download things like Instagram for the weekend days. And then after the weekend was over, she would go back in and delete those apps, and he would be left with just a plain smartphone that doesn't have all of these distracting apps to get as much work done as possible throughout the week. And there are also apps that can do this for you if you don't have access to somebody that can necessarily check you in and out of your phone each week. But a great one that I like to use a lot is Freedom, which is an app that will block your access to different apps as well as to the internet at a set schedule that you choose. For me, the way I like to use Freedom, I don't necessarily have an issue with checking email or social media or anything first thing in the morning because I really enjoy my morning routine. So I like to set it from 8 a.m. till 10:30 every morning. During that time frame where I might be more tempted to check email or get on social media as my creative energy starts to drop a bit after that productive morning of deep work. And that allows me a few extra hours of really focused work, getting those priorities done before I jump into email or anything like that and get distracted. And then it's also a useful thing to use in that afternoon time frame if you've got other important tasks that need to get done, when our energy starts to fade a bit and we might be tempted to once again jump into easier tasks. If you've really got something to prioritize, using Freedom and blocking your internet access or blocking access to the apps that tend to distract you is a really effective strategy. And then a lot of the screen time apps that we have on our phones these days are also very useful for creating Odysseus pacts with ourselves for that ease of access to social media and everything when we're trying to wind down properly for bed. So setting your screen time up or your do not disturb mode for that final hour before bed, and also carrying it over in the morning so that you're not immediately tempted to check on your messages first thing in the morning, is a great way to have that Odysseus pact that's going to help you get better quality sleep and just feel better and recover better and perform your best overall. So those are some of the ways that you can use Odysseus pacts or Ulysses pacts to reduce some of the temptations and the distractions in your life and perform at a higher level. As you can tell, a lot of these strategies revolve around digital distractions, and that's because we always have our devices with us these days, and they are the main thing that is creating a lot of distraction and reducing our performance in a lot of different ways. But you can also still use the idea of an Odysseus pact for the other temptations in your life that you are trying to reduce the ease of access to. Making it harder makes it just that much more likely that you are going to break that bad habit, or at least break the streak of always falling into that trap. And if you want even more strategies on defeating some of these tech temptations, I've created a Mastering Digital Distractions webinar that's a full hour of different strategies that you can use for increasing your productivity, whether you're working from home still, or if you just are somebody that uses a lot of devices and needs to be more productive with them. Check out the link in the description for that free webinar. So now you have another strategy in working towards your dream goals and reducing the temptations that hold you back from performing at your very best. So I hope you like that video and that you make use of some of the Odysseus pacts in your life that are going to make a big difference. Leave a comment below on what strategies are going to help you the most. And of course, remember to subscribe and also like the video. It really makes a difference on helping to reach more people with this information. And of course, as always, until next time, dream on and find your flow.